Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we are going to completely shatter how you look at ancient philosophy. We're digging into the iconic Chapter 7 of Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. But we're not going to frame Lao Tzu as some, mystical hermit speaking in moral riddles. Instead, we're looking at his words through the lens of modern cosmology and physics. We're going to see Lao Tzu as an ancient physicist who was literally observing the thermodynamic laws of the universe.
To really wrap our heads around this, we have to start with the ultimate question of sustainability. Check out this massive cosmic reality. Heaven is long-enduring, and Earth continues long. Think about that for a second. Our universe has been expanding, sustaining itself beautifully and flawlessly for 13.8 billion years. The real question here is, how? What is the actual physical mechanism that allows the cosmos to survive for eternity without just burning out?
Okay, let's dive into this. The ancient character associated with Lao Tzu actually represents the act of deep, profound listening. It reveals that these ancient texts aren't just collections of ethical platitudes or nice ideas about being polite. No, they're rigorous, observational decodings of the cosmos. Lao Tzu was paying incredibly close attention to the energetic algorithms that govern existence itself.
Now, this highlights the massive paradigm shift we're making today. Historically, when people read Lao Tzu saying something like, put yourself last, they interpreted it as traditional ethics. Be humble, be polite, be a self-sacrificing person. But when we look at this through the lens of cosmic physics, it translates to something entirely different and incredibly powerful. Achieving the energetic ground state to become a massive gravity well. It's not about morality. It's literally about energy conservation. All right, Section 1, Thermodynamics of the Ego. To really grasp this concept, we need to decode the very first verse and explore exactly why the universe operates so differently from us.
Listen to this one line and just let it sink in for a moment. The reason why heaven and earth are able to endure is because they do not live of or for themselves. It's a statement that absolutely fills you with awe. The secret to the universe's 13.8 billion year lifespan is that the universe doesn't have an ego. It isn't trying to selfishly hoard energy just to keep itself alive.
Contrast that with us human beings. When a localized entity, like a human ego, desperately tries to grab, hoard, and confine energy purely for its own survival, it creates a massive physical problem. It generates thermal friction. In physics, this unnatural forcing causes a rapid increase in entropy, which is the measure of disorder, thermal friction, and energy loss in a localized system.
Now, what's really interesting here is the exact destructive thermodynamic process of living for oneself. Let's walk through it. Step 1. You forcefully hoard localized energy to protect your ego. Step 2. This unnatural resistance generates intense thermal friction against the natural flow of the universe. And Step 3. You suffer thermal runaway, exhaustion, and eventually total collapse. The ego literally burns itself out.
But the cosmos? It operates on a completely different physical model. The universe is a frictionless circulation of energy. It continuously gives, flows, and expands without clinging to anything. Because it gives up the urge to live for itself, it completely bypasses that destructive buildup of entropy. That is the secret to eternity. Let's see how this builds right into the physical mechanics of Lao Tzu's next profound observation.
Moving to Section 2, Gravity and the Ground State. This brings us to the second verse, where we'll explore the physical mechanics of what we usually just label as humility.
Lao Tzu presents us with this really striking paradox. Therefore, the sage puts their own person last, and yet it is found in the foremost place. Now, you might be wondering, how does moving backward push you forward? If you're constantly retreating to the back of the line, how on earth do you end up leading? Well, it sounds totally contradictory until you apply the laws of astrophysics.
In physics, when you attempt to force your way to the front or the top, you expend massive amounts of unnatural energy, generating a ton of heat and resistance. But when you drop that ego-driven desire to compete and retreat to the back or the lowest point, you achieve what physicists call the ground state. This is the lowest, most stable energy state of a physical system, acting as a cosmic attractor, essentially a gravity well.
Imagine retreating to the lowest point, much like a deep valley or the vast ocean. When you stop fighting to push yourself upward and instead settle into the lowest, most receptive state, you don't have to exert any force at all. Because you're at the bottom, gravity does the work for you. All the surrounding elements, water and energy, naturally flow down toward you. You effortlessly become the stable center that the entire system revolves around.
Which leads us to Section 3, the quantum transparent conduit. Now we step into the final verse of Chapter 7, where Laozi introduces the ultimate survival strategy, deleting the firewall of the self entirely.
This is perhaps the strangest, yet most profound line in the chapter. They treat their person as if it were foreign to them, and yet that person is preserved. Think about how bizarre that actually is. To achieve self-preservation, you have to treat yourself as if you are a foreign entity. You basically have to detach completely from your own identity. But why?
And this brilliantly illustrates the physics behind that exact detachment. When you cling tightly to yourself, you build a firewall. You become a hard, isolated particle. And what happens to hard particles in the universe? They constantly collide with other forces, suffer damage, and wear down. But if you delete that firewall, you become a transparent conduit. You essentially become a biological superconductor, operating with zero electrical resistance.
By offering absolutely no solid target to be struck, by generating zero resistance, you simply cannot be destroyed. Cosmic energy can flow completely right through you. Paradoxically, by totally surrendering your isolated self to the vast flow of the universe, your true existence is perfectly protected and sustained by the cosmos itself. It's kind of mind-blowing. All right, Section 4, the paradox of cosmic immortality. Let's pull all of these incredible cosmological principles together and bring this ancient physics right back to your own personal reality today.
So the absolutely crucial point is this. Chapter 7 is the ultimate survival strategy. To preserve yourself, you have to stop trying to frantically save yourself. If you can stop fighting to shine your own ego and instead align with the frictionless quantum vacuum, if you can become that transparent conduit, the cosmos will step in to sustain you. The universe's non-attachment is the exact algorithm for eternal sustainability.
I want to leave you with this thought today. If the physics of the universe dictate that it only eternally sustains that which flows freely and without ego, what are you fighting so hard to hold on to? Think about the friction you're generating in your own life. Drop the resistance. Find your ground state. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.